And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, December 29th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. Navajo lawmakers have passed legislation prohibiting non-tribal officers from searching or arresting American Indian suspects on the reservation absent a cross-commissioning agreement. The legislation approved last week came in response to a New Mexico Supreme Court decision in a 2005 drunken driving case involving a Navajo man. The court said DWI tests performed by a sheriff's deputy on the reservation did not threaten Navajo sovereignty because the tribe had no rules or procedures on how to deal with the situation. The new Navajo law seeks to prevent encroachment from outside law enforcement and compel county and state officers to enter into cross-commissioning agreements with the nation. Archaeologists who have uncovered the remains of a prehistoric city beneath what is now East St. Louis are trying to unravel why that ancient city was abandoned while another one just to the east managed to survive 2 more centuries. Archaeologists believe Native Americans abandoned the city in roughly 3,000, the city of roughly 3,000 or more people around the year 12,000, some 200 years before a bigger settlement at nearby Cahokia mounds ended inexplainably. The St. Louis Post-Dispatch reports that the East St. Louis settlement appeared to have been ravaged by fire in the late 1100s, although the cause of that blaze isn't clear. Joe Galloy, coordinator at the Illinois State Archaeological Survey's American Bottom Field Station in Wood River, said an attack from outside, rioting, or a ritual burning are among theories for the fire's origin, though archaeologists hope to pinpoint that during the dig. Archaeologists have been working at the site since the year 2008 in advance of construction of an Interstate 70 bridge across the Mississippi River. Galloy called the archaeological dig near the site of the old St. Louis National Stockyards an unprecedented look at a Mississippian city and perhaps the most significant archaeology of any kind underway in the country today. About 50 people are working full-time on the effort. Cahokia Mounds near Collinsville, Illinois, was the administrative center for the mound-building Mississippians who flourished from around 700 to around 1,400 over what is now the Midwest and the Southeast. In 11,000, Galloy said, Cahokia Mounds had roughly 15,000 to 20,000 people. The United States would have no city as populous until Philadelphia in the late 1700s. Galloy said Cahokia Mounds, the East St. Louis settlements, and similar mounds in St. Louis were in near alignment. The only surviving mounds are in the Cahokia Mounds State Historic Site, with others on both sides of the river having been lost to development. At Cahokia Mounds and many other archaeological sites, land intentionally is left undisturbed for future excavation, but exploration in the path of the bridge needs to be finished in the next 2 or 3 years, or the opportunity for the dig will be lost. At HoChunk Gaming in Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, there will be a New Year's Eve wristband party sales to benefit the LeRoy Butler Foundation for breast cancer. This is at the HoChunk Gaming on New Year's Eve, Friday, December 31st, starting at 7 p.m. in both Upper and Lower Dells ballrooms and at the Wojawa Sports Bar and Grill. You can get more information by calling Missy Tracy at 1-800-746-2486, extension 2145, and we'll put that number up so you can call it and talk to Missy. A bill introduced by U.S. Senators Tom Udall and Jeff Bingaman that would allow Ohkay Owingeh Pueblo to offer long-term leases for land held in trust is headed to the president's desk to be signed into law. The legislation passed the Senate and the House last week. The bill would authorize leases of up to 99 years for lands held in trust for the Pueblo in order to increase the ability of the Pueblo to attract businesses to tribal lands and expand tribal self-determination. Under current law, leases may extend for a maximum of 25 years. A longer lease term would give the Pueblo additional flexibility to work with businesses that require a land lease to have a presence in the area. The Cowlitz Tribe in the state of Washington may conduct gaming under a decision approved by the Department of Interior recently. Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs Larry Echohawk announced the approval of the acquisition of 152 acres of land in trust for the Cowlitz in Clark County, Washington. The newly acquired lands will serve as the initial reservation of the Cowlitz, which were federally acknowledged by the United States again in the year 2000. The Cowlitz Tribe intends to conduct Class 3 gaming on the newly acquired lands pursuant to the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, or IGRA. CircNetwork has announced the debut of the premier issue of the Hunting the Rez magazine, a new sportsman directory to 52 million acres of big game hunting and fishing opportunities, previously hidden in plain sight here in North America. The magazine hit the newsstand shelves across North America starting in December 14th. The magazine, a classic full-color glossy in a print format, is being published quarterly in its first year. With North American hunting grounds getting harder and harder to find, Indian country is fast becoming the preferred spot for savvy sportsmen looking for abundant hunting and fishing opportunities. Hunting the Rez has taken a leadership role position in the market by bringing those lands into light. We are pleased with the Hunting the Rez's launch, said Jason Belcourt of the Rocky Boys Indian Reservation, Montana, publisher and owner of the magazine. Belcourt says there are many distinct advantages to hunting in Indian country. For instance, many tribes have the rifle season during bugling season as opposed to the states. Some tribes even offer extended seasons for non-enrolled sportsmen. That's big news in a community looking for new trophy opportunities, said Belcourt. Hunting the Rez magazine is a wholly owned and staffed Native American company, and you can visit that online at huntingtherez.com. We'll put that URL up for you to look at as well. As a Cherokee Nation emergency medical technician, Danae Cole always hoped she would be involved in the delivery of a new baby. However, when Cole became a dispatcher for the Cherokee Tribe's 911 services, she didn't think much about needing her medic training to assist in that effort. That changed recently when Cole received an urgent 911 call from a very anxious caller who was in transit to W.W. Hastings Hospital with a mother-to-be. The labor was further along than expected, and the baby decided to wait no longer. The caller was very excited and said that they were on their way to Hastings but had to pull over at the Elks Lodge. In my mind, I went into work mode and told them what to do and what they needed to do to conduct the birth, Cole said. Friends of the mother, the caller and his wife relayed messages from Cole, and they all coached the new mom through the procedure. When the initial gush of excitement was over, Cole said she realized that this was her first full delivery and was surprised it was done over the phone. Because of her efforts, Cole was awarded the much sought-after EMS Stork pin, which is traditionally given to medics when they deliver a newborn. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you all for joining in, and come back again soon. Miigwech.